Okay, so let's finish the review of this unit. And I say finish because we started yesterday. So let's take a look. Remember, the test of this unit is going to include both reviews, right? What we did yesterday and what we're going to review today. So looking at parallelograms, question 69 and 70, it says solve for x, each figure is a parallelogram. One quick thing of parallelograms. So let me review one quick thing of parallelograms. Opposite angles are going to be equal. So if one angle is, let's say, 70, the other angle is 70, right? Opposite angles are equal. Now, adjacent angles are two angles that are next to each other. They add up to 180. So if one of them is 70, the other one, I'm going to say it's 110 because they have to add up to 180. Okay, so that's interesting part of angles. And then opposite sides are equal. So what I mean with that is looking at the sides, when I'm looking at angles, the numbers are going to be inside of the figure. When I'm looking at sides, let's say this side right here is 7, the opposite side has to be the same number. If one side is 7, the other side is 7. If one side is 3, the opposite side is 3. Right, that's what happens on sides of parallelograms. So looking at 69, I'm looking at angles because the numbers are inside of the figure. I'm going to say these two angles are equal to each other. So in order for me to solve for x, I'm just going to say 45 is equal to 9x. The rest is just algebra. In order to get the x by itself, let me divide both sides by 9. So I get that 5 is equal to x. Right? Solve is basically find the value of x. We can just say x is equal to 5. Looking at question number 70, angle V in this case is x plus 90. And then angle U, that red box, means 90. Remember, red boxes mean 90 degrees. So that's 90 degrees. So here, angle V and angle U are adjacent. So I'm just going to add them up. X plus 90 equals. Remember, I said that adjacent angles, when you add them up, equals 180. Okay, I can easily solve for x here. Let me combine my like terms. On the left side, I have the x by itself. And then 90 plus 90 is 180. So I have x plus 180 equals 180. To get the x by itself, this plus 180. Let me move it to the other side as a minus 180. So I get that x is equal to 0. 0 is a number, so that's fine. X is equal to 0. Now looking at 71 and 72, we're still dealing with parallelograms. The only thing is that I have these diagonals inside. I have a diagonal. But when I'm looking at the entire angle R, let me see, the entire angle R is -2 plus 6x plus 20, right? The entire angle R, if I add it to angle Q, I'm going to say this is equal to 180. The entire angle R plus angle Q, when I add them up, equals 180. All right, so let me separate them to the equal sign. Let me combine my like terms. On the left side, when it comes to letters, I just have 6x. Okay, that's all I have. Then a -2 plus 20 plus 132, that is equal to 150. So I have 6x plus 150 equals 180. I want the 6x by itself, so the plus 150, I'm going to move it to the other side as a minus 150. So I get that 6x is equal to 30. 180 minus 150, that's 30. To get x by itself, let me divide both sides by 6. That's the number in front of x. So I get that x is equal to 5, right? 30 divided by 6, that's 5. All right, let's do it again. Let's take a look at number 72. Remember, you can always pause the video. So looking at entire angle E. I'm looking at angle E is 102. But then I'm looking at the entire angle F. All right, I'm going to add 9x plus 2 plus 40. I'm going to say this case, it is equal to 180. All right, let me separate my sides through the equal sign. On the left side, when it comes to letters, I just have 9x. When it comes to numbers, I have 102 plus 2 plus 40. So I'm going to call that 144. This is equal to 180. The plus 144, let me move it over as a minus 144. So I get the 9x equals 180 minus 144, that's 36. So I have 9x equals 36. To get x by itself, let's divide by 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4. Then this week, we talk about mid-segments of a triangle. The instructions are solve for x. Now, the mid-segment of a triangle, let's highlight this in yellow. It's this segment. Now, that segment is parallel to one of the sides. In this case, this side. So the way we're going to be able to solve for x, I'm just going to go, the mid-segment is x plus 13. So I'm going to go x plus 13. All of it, I'm going to multiply by 2, right? The mid-segment times 2 equals the one side that is parallel to it, x plus 20. Now, don't think you have to use everything given here. There's a negative x plus 8. There's a side, negative x plus 8, that I'm not going to use. Right? Don't think you have to use everything given. You're only using the mid-segment and the side that is parallel to it. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to separate my sides to the equal sign. Let me get rid of parentheses. Let me distribute the 2. So that's going to give me 2x plus 26 equals 1x plus 20. I want to have letters on one side, numbers on the other. So the plus x, the x on the right side, let me move it to the left side as a minus x. And the plus 26 on the left, let me move it to the right side as a minus 26. Don't forget that everything that I move from one side to the other, I have to switch the signs. So notice I switched the sign on the x, I switched the sign on the 26. If there were minus to begin with, I would have changed it to plus, right? You got to switch the signs. Now on the left side, I have 2x minus 1x. So I'm just going to call that 1x. On the right side, I have 20 minus 26. I'm just going to call that negative 6. So x equals negative 6. Let's take a look at number 74. I'm going to use the mid-segment. So I'm going to use this segment and the one side that is parallel to it, this one. So the way I'm going to set this thing up, I'm going to go, all right, the mid-segment is 2x plus 26. That's the mid-segment. Let me multiply it by 2. So all of this times 2, and it's going to equal to x plus 22. Let me separate my sides through the equal sign. Let me get rid of parentheses. Let me distribute the 2. So that's going to give me 4x plus 52 equals 1x plus 22. Got one letters on one side. I see 4x on the left side and I see a 1x on the right side. So I tend to move the smallest x. I want to avoid negatives if possible. So this x, I'm going to move it to the left as a minus x. All right, got to switch the sign. Positive 52, I'm going to move it to the other side as a minus 52. I got to switch the signs. So on the left side, I see 4x minus 1x, right? 4 minus 1. Think about it. 4x minus 1x. I'm going to call that 3x. On the right side, 22 minus 52. I'm going to call that negative 30. Let me divide both sides by 3. I know a negative divided by a positive is negative. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So x equals negative 10. Another thing that we saw was the mid-segment of trapezoids. So let's take a look at number 75. Solve for x, each figure is a trapezoid. So the mid-segment is right here in the center. That's the mid-segment. But now this segment, it's parallel to two sides. One of the sides is 40 and the other side is 22. I'm going to use all three measurements. So let me start with the mid-segment. 3x plus 4. I'm going to multiply all of this by 2 equals. Now the two sides, I'm going to just add them up. 40 plus 22. Let me separate my sides through the equal sign. Let me distribute the 2. So that's going to give me 6x plus 8. On the right side, 40 plus 22, let me just call that 62. Okay, so I want that 6x by itself. So this plus 8 that I see here, let me go on the other side as a minus 8. Remember, got to switch the sign. So I get 6x equals, in this case, 54, right? 62 minus 8 is 54. To get the x by itself on both sides, on one side, let me divide both sides by 6. So I get x equals 54 divided by 6 is 9. So x equals 9. You always start from the mid segment or median, however you want to call it. So number 76, the mid segment is 2x plus 10. And this thing is parallel to 17 and 27. So I'm just going to go, let me move this to the side. The mid segment is 2x plus 10. Sometimes we might call this median, as I mentioned in my previous lecture. We might call this median, but median mid-segment means the same thing. So 2x plus 10, all of it times 2, and this is going to equal to 17 plus 27. Separate them to the equal sign. Let me distribute the 2 to get rid of parentheses. So I have that 4x plus 20 equals 17 plus 27. Let me just call that 44. To get the 4x by itself, the plus 20, let me move it to the other side as a minus 20. So I have that 4x is equal to 24. Right, 44 minus 20 is 24. To finish this, let me divide by 4. So I get x is equal to 6. All right, so let me zoom out to see what we did today. You should be good for the test tomorrow.